Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Diane and I like to share my art journey and art tips on my channel. I'm super excited to be doing my very first sketchbook tour on YouTube. So this is a Moleskine art medium sketchbook and I really like the paperweight and the versatile size. I find that I can usually fit it in all my bags, so it really makes a really great sketchbook too. So I decided to challenge myself this year to draw more and to draw every day. And my first step was to finish this sketchbook in 30 days. It was pretty crazy thinking back, but I barely did it and it was a great exercise. I highly recommend you try a similar challenge to build a good drawing habit. There's definitely a lot more looser work in here, but I love that about this sketchbook too. So yeah, let's get started. If you like what I'm sharing, please leave a like down below and subscribe if you haven't already. So this is my first page. I was doing some studies on tigers and also lotus flowers and these swirly elements that I'm really interested in. So I'll keep pushing on this throughout my sketchbook. But yeah, I really love drawing animals, so you'll see like some paw studies here as well. And here, just continuing on with the studies, but this was some crane studies and just playing with some organic movement and just keeping things really light and loose. I'm just using a ballpoint pen here for the lines, and then I'm using some water-based brush pens here for the back. This was fun because I started to push into doing some pattern studies. This is not what I usually draw, but I'm really interested in incorporating it more into my work. So you'll see this a bit more later as well. Here I'm just drawing some desserts, which I really like, so you'll see that on my channel too. And then over here, just more pattern studies and just breaking down some organic forms. And over here, just doing a study on water elements. I saw some of this just from illustrators I like, and I'm studying that kind of a shape. And then just doing some red panda studies because they're super cute. Over here, just manta rays. So I was interested in starting with some studies of the full manta rays and doing some colors and line work. And then in the back, I drew these two purple ones, which are studies of bringing in some of those water elements that I was studying before and just incorporating them into the shape of the manta rays. So here, I remember this night, I was definitely struggling with a bit of art block. So I saw this room or corridor that I really like, so I just started drawing whatever I saw first, and then I put in some little dogs here just for fun. And over here I was just doing studies, so like you can't really see it, but that's a scrunchie, so just texture, practicing the water a little more, doing some shading, and then starting to get into this theme of fish, which I just keep drawing later through the sketchbook too. Here I'm working with some foxes, so this was really fun, just a fox and the composition. And here's just playing with foxes and the fur and different patterns that kind of fit onto their bodies too. Here's just more different animal studies. So this is a pangolin, this is some water droplets, a little bit more zoomed in. And then here, I was just really interested in drawing capybara, so cute. And then they reminded me of pigs, so I ended up drawing those a bit too. And here I was interested in just working with the moon and the mountains. So So playing with some more environmental kind of elements. And then I felt like doing some studies. So these are just paws and then also just cats in motion. So super loose, just a ballpoint pen. And I think from the night before, I was just interested in continuing to draw more capybara. These are cats. So we were visiting a friend over the weekend and he has 2 cats. So I was just doing some studies that I saw inspired by them. And this was a life drawing. So one of his cats came in and was just sleeping on the bed. So I was just doing a sketch while she was sleeping there. This one was a much longer drawing, so I was doing some studies on reptiles and their different textures. And then this one was a pretty long study of a snake. It took me an hour or 2, I think, and this was all in ballpoint pen too. And this next one, I think this drawing makes me feel very peaceful. I think just some interiors and finding out that I really like this color combination, bringing in some cloud elements and also just like a sleepy cat here. And this was just another drawing, a more realism study of a crow. And so I thought what was interesting was studying the light here and the values, just because the crow's all black, but if you really study them, when the light hits them, there's actually a lot of lighter colors as well. So this was really fun. This one was really fun too. I was just drawing peonies here, and then I would say like a droopy tiger, and playing with the stripes and the different patterns on it, and just having fun with that. And this next one, I was continuing to study different patterns and floral elements. And these are prints that I was studying. I drew these with ballpoint pen, but I just thought it was really interesting the way they work with color and different color blocks. This one, I was studying a few animals from Line of Action. It's a really great resource if you just want to do some studies on different poses or animals. And I decided to fill everything in with some plant studies in the back too. This one was a fun one. It was a tiger. I wanted to experiment with what it was like to change the stripes into these kind of flowy lines, and then also just incorporating some forms that I was studying before. I really like this crab too, and yeah, just playing with different floral elements and how it might fit onto the shell. And here it's just going a little bit dimensional and playing with this kind of multi-dimensional feel to it with some critters inside. Over here, I'm doing some bird studies, so also doing these patterns and finding out where they kind of fit along the form. And here's where I start to bring in some fine liner work. So that I did an owl study. And over here is just an ice landscape study. And here I'm continuing to push on just different studies, pulling in different colors and pattern elements onto a sleepy fox, but also a peacock here. This one I really like too. It's a crab, and on the shell I'm pulling in some flower petals, doing some patterns here, and also some other patterns that I was experimenting with. This is going a little abstract. I'm breaking apart these flower elements here. I'm also working with some shading to make it a composition. This one's a funny spread because I like these birds so much I didn't really want to fill in the rest of the page. But this is just a photo of 3 different birds and me incorporating some patterns into them as well. This one just loose studies again on line of action. So this is a great way, I think, if I just want to get moving, get drawing, I'll just pull up the website and draw whatever I see there. This one's fun. It's just an Akita over here, really cute. And also over here, just doing a more environmental drawing. And this day I wanted to do some acorn studies, so I pulled up these photos and I was just doing some line work on that and shading. And I was also bringing in some fine liners over here for the color. Here, kind of continuing on a similar theme, but these are chestnuts. And this is when I start to incorporate a fish theme in a lot of my recent drawings. I had so much fun, just like fish as desserts, fish as actual fish, fish as a dessert again, but as a taiyaki cone. And just more fish. I feel like there's a lot of fun you can do with their patterns and colors. I totally estimated the size of this wrong, so it looks like they're kissing, but that was not on purpose. This one is when I start to bring in color pencil too, so you can see I drew some squash, a bunny. And then for my last page, this is the last page of the sketchbook and the first video I uploaded onto YouTube on my channel. So I'll link it here and please check it out if you want. But I just think it's such a great stopping point for me to think about my next chapter with my next sketchbook. So definitely look at that video if you get a chance. And that's it. So thank you so much for watching my sketchbook tour. I hope you had a really good time. Definitely leave me a like and subscribe if you liked what I was sharing, and I will see you next time. Bye.